Well, after a restful day off yesterday, the Tigers are back to work, and Lou Piniella and the Cubs are in town with an outstanding lineup that features Derek Lee and Alfonso Soriano. And the Tigers, meanwhile, pretty good lineup of their own. They have a 4-game winning streak. It is a warm, humid night for baseball tonight in the Motor City. Game 1 of this 3-game interleague series featuring the Tigers and the Chicago Cubs. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa, Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for this series opener. The Tigers pretty hot right now, Rod. In fact, in their last 4 games, their offense has been as good as we've seen in a long time, and that's good to see.
Absolutely. Jim Leland in that St. Louis series, he put Curtis Granderson back in the leadoff spot. Of course, Polanco always bats second, but you got Cabrera now batting third. Marcus Timms behind him, and since he made that lineup out, the team has been getting it done. They had a great start to a homestand here. 333 average. They're averaging 7 runs a game. 4 games they won. As you can see, when this team struggles offensively, they don't get it done because the pitching pretty much has been there all year long. Outstanding offense they've had lately.
And Maglio Ordonez is back in the starting lineup tonight for the Tigers as well. We'll see if the offense can continue. Not going to be easy, though, really, for either side tonight. This pitching matchup is a dynamite one. Carlos Zambrano for the Chicago Cubs. Edwin Jackson for the Tigers.
A couple of top-of-the-rotation guys, but they get it done in different ways. Zambrano's got that turbo sinker, gets lots of ground balls, does not give up lots of home runs. When you start talking about our guy Jackson, he will overpower you with a fastball in the mid-90s. He's got an outstanding slider, and he's got a changeup that's been a real good pitch for him, too. So a run should be at a premium tonight against these 2 top right-handers.
And we're expecting big crowds here all 3 days here against the Chicago Cubs. Tigers have played very well at home. In fact, they've won 5 in a row here at Comerica Park. Glad to have you with us. Tigers and Cubs going at it tonight. And for the Tigers, it'll be a big test for their hot bats. Carlos Zambrano on the hill for the Cubs. Tigers in Chicago coming up next. Ball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers by Comcast. There are over 10,000 on-demand choices from Comcast, and most are free. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, "I'm thinking Arby's." And speaking of Arby's, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow. Get a free regular roast beef sandwich. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or, of course, at foxsports.com in the Major League Baseball section. Well, for the Tigers, they come in having won 4 straight, but this is also a team, Rod, that now has the third best overall record in Major League Baseball.
You know, not bad for a team that offensively struggled the majority of the season, but they finally have hit their stride offensively. And the two teams on the top of that list, the Dodgers, I've heard they're outstanding this year, and we've seen the Red Sox, but that's some good company.
Well, Lou Piniella brings his Chicago Cubs into town, and for the Cubs, certainly one of the favorites in their division over in the National League Central Division. Their starting lineup tonight looks like this. Alfonso Soriano leads it off. He'll play in left. Ryan Theriot is the shortstop. Milton Bradley is playing in right field. Derek Lee, a 19-game hitting streak going. He's at first base. Micah Hoffpower is the DH. Giovanni Soto, the catcher. Your bottom three is Fukudome, Fontenot, and Blanco. Here's the Dodge scouting report on Edwin Jackson.
Well, Jackson's been simply dominant really all year on top of his game, and for that he ranks second in the American League in earned run average at 2.39. The only one better is Zach Greinke for the Kansas City Royals, but he does need a little help. His team has not scored a lot of runs for him when he has been on the mound, and Jim Leland said a few days ago he is going to take the time now to split up Verlander and Jackson in the rotation with the rookie Figueroa in between. Let's take a look at the defense. Your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores presents it to you as always. Magglio Ordonez is back in the outfield after a few days off the Tigers lineup, and hopefully Magglio has taken the time to figure out a few things that he's had time to rest and relax and kind of look and see what's going on.
Well, here are the numbers on Mr. Jackson. He has one complete game this year, and even though he hasn't won in his last two starts, he still pitched pretty well.
Numbers are staggering. We talked about the 2.39 earned run average, but the opponents hitting just 217 against Jackson this year. Lots of overpowering fastballs.
So here we go. It'll be Alfonso Soriano leading it off, and Ryan Theriot and Milton Bradley. You've got to be careful with Soriano with his power out of the leadoff slot. 54 career leadoff home runs. Edwin Jackson ready to go to work, and here we go. The first pitch of the ball game tonight is a breaking ball that misses high. 1-0 on Soriano. 86 degrees our game time temp here tonight in the Motor City. Beautiful afternoon today. Warm temperatures this evening. The 1-0 sails high. Fastball. 2 balls, no strikes on Soriano. He is mired in a big time slump right now. He's just 2 for his last 19, and the average has fallen to 224. Down the middle it comes for strike one. 2-1 on Soriano.
Yeah, these are the types of counts that you want to stay out of when you're going up against a dangerous hitter like Soriano with the power that he has.
Got it out his hands, and he loops it over the second baseman Polanco for a leadoff single. Jackson crowded him that time, and Soriano is strong enough to shoot it out to right field.
The shortstop, number 2, Ryan Theriot.
That'll bring up Ryan Theriot.
There used to be a time where Soriano would try to steal lots of bases, but he is not running as much this year as he has in the past.
Theriot at 284. He has hit 6 homers this year, and he also is enjoying a pretty good hitting streak at 8 straight. Fastball up and in from Edwin Jackson. 1-0.
And that's one thing Edwin has done a lot of this year. He has pitched inside aggressively. And Gerald Laird going to go out and try to calm him down. Apparently Jackson maybe a little too amped up here tonight going up against the Cubbies.
Well, you've got a high profile team in town. You've got a full house here at the ballpark. Well, the Tigers have been winning lately. Nice little lead now in the American League Central of 4 games. 1-0 on Theriot. And that is a strike in the inside corner. 1-1. Theriot last year had 58 multiple hit games. He already has 22 this season. Good batting average of 284. Soriano has 7 steals. He has been caught twice. And Gerald Laird, for the most part, has been very good in terms of throwing base runners out. Jackson missing, and the count goes to 2-1. mentioning the Chicago Cubs coming into play in the National League Central Division. 2 games over 500, but that division's still up for grabs. Saw the Cardinals on the last road trip. Now the Cubs here on the homestand, and Milwaukee as well. And another bluff. Soriano not giving up any ground. He shows bunt, spins out of the way. So Edman has been a little bit wild here early on. He has missed the strike zone considerably, and now the count goes to 3-1 as Mike Quaddy runs through the signs. Their third base coach.
A lot of times in this situation with your number 2 hitter, as a manager, you can take the luxury of starting your base runner and knowing that a guy like Terrio will put the ball in place somewhere and somewhat protect Soriano if he's running.
There he goes, and a ground ball left side, base hit out of the reach of Santiago. Soriano will stop at second base, and the Cubs now are off and running here with a couple of hits.
Well, both Soriano and Terrio both had real good hitters counts to hit in. Soriano singled on a 2-1 pitch, and Terrio he singled on a 3-1 pitch. So it's going to be imperative for Jackson to start getting ahead of some of these guys.
Back-to-back singles to start this one for Chicago, and now here comes the meat of their lineup. It'll be Milton Bradley, the right fielder.
Their offense had 10 hits last night in Atlanta, a makeup game, and they didn't score. They got shut out.
Wow, it's kind of hard to do. Bradley looks at a ball up high, and again Jackson falls behind.
And the majority of the times that he has missed already in this game, the fastball's been up. Maybe time to call a breaking ball or a changeup, one of the field pitches to get Jackson back on track.
Fastball instead right down the middle, and it goes 1-1. Edwin came in second in the American League in ERA at 2.39, and his batting average against just .217. Outside again, he falls behind. 2-1. Milton Bradley has been with Montreal, Cleveland. He's played with the Dodgers in Oakland and San Diego. He recently signed a deal with the Chicago Cubs. Way outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Not the start that Edwin Jackson was hoping for here. He just has not been able to command his pitches. And Rick Knapp looks on. It seems like he gets spoiled when Verlander and Jackson go out there. You just expect them to mow right through the opposing lineup.
Yeah, they've been awfully good.
So Bradley's got to be licking his chops here. 3-1 with a couple of runners on. And he takes ball 4. That's going to load the bases. 2 singles and a walk, and that's going to bring Rick Knapp with an early visit out of the Tigers dugout. Danger time early here as Derek Lee gets set to settle in.
Well, coming into play, obviously the pitching coach, the starting pitcher, the catcher, they go over the opposing team before the game starts, and I'd be shocked if Derek Lee was one of the guys that Rick Knapp talked about before the game as to someone they'd like to stay away from if they could. But nowhere to put him with the bases loaded here in the first.
And the scary thing about Lee is that he is as hot as anybody in the game right now. He is sporting a 19-game hitting streak.
He has been on fire, hitting the ball to all fields. He has really had a nice career. He's a really good player.
There's a Gold Glove defender at first base as well, and he comes up now with the bases loaded, nobody out. Lou Piniella and our old friend Alan Trammell on the Cubs bench. There's strike 1.
Yeah, you get a look at his spray chart, and the majority of the balls that he hits are to left field and up the middle. And very seldom does he go to right field, does Lee. Yeah, but you look at most power hitters' spray charts, And that's exactly what they'll say.
Derek Lee, 11 home runs. Jackson right now desperately needs a ground ball here.
He didn't.
The 1-1 rolled foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lee not only has a 19-game hitting streak, but he's reached base in 29 straight games. Nine grand slams in his career. Soriano started things off with a base hit. Terrio followed with a single, and then a walk to Milton Bradley. The 1-2 inside, straighten him up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jackson has labored here in the first inning. He has thrown more balls than strikes in this frame. Meanwhile, Zambrano waiting his turn, hoping that his team can get him some early offense. Ground ball hit to the shortstop. Should be 2. Santiago. Polanco not in time. Lee beats it out. A run will score. Soriano is in, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
Surprised the Tigers didn't turn that over. Breaking ball down and away from Lee. That's probably what helped him beat this ball out. His momentum carrying him down the line on the swing. But this ball, 2-hopper, 3-hopper to Santiago. He and Polanco usually turn this over all day, every day, especially with the first baseman running on the opposing team. Let's hope that does not come back to haunt the Tigers and Jackson.
37th RBI for Derek Lee. He's aboard at first base. Fielder's choice and an RBI. Here is Micah Hoffpower, and he waves and misses. Hoffpower, the DH, he's struggling as well. His average at 261, but he is 9 for his last 49. Good block by Laird. 1 ball and 1 strike. Last time the Cubs played here in Detroit was 2001, when Chicago took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers here at Comerica Park. Of course, the Tigers had a visit to Wrigley back in 2006, and they swept that series. Breaking ball is a good one. A strike called. 1-2. Jackson trying to work out of the bases loaded jam. He has given up 1 run. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 gone. First strikeout of the game for Edwin Jackson.
He threw Hoffpower some really good breaking balls. The strike 2 pitch was really good, and then he came back to finish him off, and that's a huge swing. A lot of times when you take a swing that big, you're going to miss quite a few.
He leaves it up to Giovanni Soto. The runners holding at first and third. Breaking ball is a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1.
And they say that Soto is just now finally getting himself into a real good playing shape. He played for the WBC in the spring and really missed a lot of time.
Down ball to short should get him out of the inning. Santiago for the force, and the side retired. So a long inning, but minimal damage done. Here comes Zambrano with a 1-0 lead. bottom of the first inning. Tigers starting lineup looks like this. It'll be Curtis Granderson in center field. Placido Polanco at second base. Miguel Cabrera batting in the 3 slot. 358 against the Cubs. Not bad. Thames DH. Kelly in left. Inge at third. Your bottom 3, Ordonez, Laird, and Santiago. Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Carlos Zambrano of the Cubs. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Zambrano has outstanding stuff and has only given up 5 home runs this year. And the reason for that, he's got that power sinker. And when he's right, he's working at the bottom of the strike zone, getting tons of ground balls. Tigers hitters need to make him get it up. And he has struggled on the road in his career in American League ballparks. 9 starts, earned run average over 5 for Big Zambrano.
Well, we'll see if that continues here tonight. Boy, this guy's awfully good. Granderson, Polanco, and Cabrera down by a run. Tigers batting in the first.
As Leland said before the game, this is the big leagues. Every now and then you got to beat guys like Zambrano. And really you have to outcompete guys like Zambrano.
Hold fair inside the bag at first base. This will rattle around the corner. Granderson on his way to second. It gets away from Bradley, but Curtis will hold up. It's a 2-base hit. He yanked it right by a diving Derek Lee.
Well, Curtis does make Z get it up. It's a fastball inside, rips it right past the diving Derek Lee. That ball in right field, Bradley had a little trouble with it, and Curtis was entertaining the thought of trying to get to third, but Gene Lamont had to hold him up. You don't ever want to make the first or third out.
Hold
at third base.
Here's Placido Polanco. Granderson's 8th double of the year, and very quickly the Tigers get the tying run in scoring position. Polanco at 263, trying to move him up at the very least, and he shoots it foul down the right field line. 1-1.
Granderson must have flashbacks to 2006, although it was at Wrigley Field. But every single game, it seemed like Curtis was leading off with a double or triple or playing long ball.
Yeah, he did each of those in every one of those games. One of each. It's pretty impressive. Zambrano missing inside, 2-1.
Zambrano throws from like a low 3/4 arm slot, which allows him to get some real good sink on his fastball. Also a slider. An occasional, he'll throw you a 4-seam fastball in the mid-90s, but it usually does not work at that velocity.
Lifted toward the gap in left center field, hit well. Fukudome is on the run, won't get it. This will get a run in. Polanco on his way to second, maybe beyond. He's going to take the turn, and here he comes. Polanco is in with a stand-up triple. Wow, what a start. Zambrano doesn't know what hit him.
Well, Fukudome in center field had Polanco shaded in the right center field, and he was playing shallow, and you could see that was just a flat slider by Zambrano. And Fukudome had to get on his horse, and by the time he ran this one down, and Polanco was standing on third base. What a great start for the boys tonight.
Now the Tigers trying to get this run in. They have Miguel Cabrera up there.
Lou Piniella has his defense relaxed, and knowing that it really doesn't matter how you play the defenders against Cabrera. More often than not, he's going to get the job done.
Foul ground. Lee appears to have room, and he gets there with a basket catch. So Cabrera unable to get the job done, and that's the first out.
He'd like to do that again. He swung at a bad pitch that was running in on his hand and fisted him. He talked about that arm slot that Zambrano throws from. This ball just kind of fading in on Cabby, and he couldn't get it done.
So it's a big out for Zambrano. Let's see if Thames now can knock this run in. Looks like they're coming in halfway defensively on Marcus. Wave and a miss.
Polanco had a real aggressive secondary lead. More than likely he's coming on contact. The defenders by the Cubs are trying to make him make a decision, but I think that decision's already been made.
That has popped up. This won't get the job done either. Lee in foul ground, and a couple of pop-ups to third, 2 gone. Or to first, rather. 2 away, and that'll bring up Don Kelly. So it's going to be the rookie to try and get him in. And now with 2 outs, they'll be able to push that defense back. Kelly off to a nice start. with the Tigers in 9 games, batting .417. He's knocked in 3. First pitch strike from Zambrano, who is one of those guys that pretty much gets the ball, and he is ready for his sign and ready to go.
Wastes very little time.
Kelly was 6 for 11 in that series against Milwaukee. Really had a good series, both defensively and with the bat. Inside, he tipped it into the glove. 1-2.
Wow. That cut fastball had a lot of movement to it at 90 miles an hour. And nothing really that Zambrano throws is straight. Everything's got some run action, some sink action, or a breaking ball.
Another check swing. Zambrano is 28 years old. He is a native of Venezuela. This is his 8th season in Chicago. And he missed again. Run it full now at 3-2. Brandon Inge in the on deck circle. Full count pitch. Kelly pops it up. Left side of the infield. Fontenot, and the side retired, so Zambrano gives up 1. Tigers strand a man at third. Your opportunity to vote for the Tigers player of the game using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space then the player's uniform number to FSDET, which is 37338. See the final results post game during Tigers Live. You can vote throughout the course of the game for your Tigers player of the game. Here's Kosuke Fukudome to lead it off in the second for Chicago. Fukudome, Fontenot, and then Blanco 7, 8, 9 facing Edwin Jackson. Really, both sides had good opportunities to get more than just the 1 run that they posted. 0-2 on Fukudome.
Most starting pitchers, if you're going to get to them, you got to get them early. That's when they're most vulnerable. And both of these guys came out vulnerable tonight. But each team only able to score 1 run.
So you think now that there's a good chance that both of these guys could settle in.
They're going to dial in here. They're too good at pitchers. With tremendous track records.
The 1-2.
You know, that's one of the reasons why Jim Leland has decided to bat Cabrera now 3rd in the Tigers lineup. That very fact. Every now and then you can get to a good starting pitcher in that very first inning.
Again, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He dusted Fukudome at 98 right at the letters.
He has been simply dominant against left-handed hitters this year. Unbelievable.
By the way, this game tonight is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit, courtesy of Comcast. Beautiful night for baseball, beautiful ballpark, and it is just about filled to the rafters tonight. Here's Mike Fontenot. Fouled back out of play. He's batting .232. This guy back in April and early May went through a 2-for-40 stretch. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's a tough stretch. 2-for-40.
That's a real tough stretch. A few years back, the Cubs sent Sammy Sosa to Baltimore, and in return, Fontenot was part of that deal. The 0-2. He wouldn't chase that fastball to 98. It's a warm night. We mentioned 86 at game time, so it probably wouldn't take long for either one of these guys to loosen up. Breaking ball and a beauty. It's a 3rd strikeout now for Edwin Jackson.
And Jackson brought that real good slide piece with him tonight. 3 strikeouts, 1 on the fastball and 2 on the breaking ball. And of course, that's presented by Lincoln Mercury Exmo.
Here comes the number 9 hitter, Andres Blanco. Blanco, a .245 batter, no homers this year. And a former Kansas City Royal. On the ground to the shortstop. Routine for Santiago. Much better inning for Jackson. They go 1-2-3. Still tied at 1. You're watching Tigers baseball at Fox Sports Detroit. Presented by Bell Tire. Brandon Inge will lead it off, and Inge tonight sporting somewhat of a new tattoo, as you can see on his right forearm, the name of Tommy, which is a young man that he met at Mott's Children's Hospital a couple of weeks ago. Tommy Shoemaker, who was dying to meet Brandon Inge. He wasn't able to hook up with Brandon, and Brandon finally had an opportunity to go back today to meet with Tommy, and Brandon said, you know what, I'm the one always signing the autographs. Why don't you give me an autograph? And he signed Brandon's arm. How about that?
Beautiful.
Tommy Shoemaker, and Tommy is dialed in watching us tonight. So young man, get well, and we're all pulling for you. And Brandon is as well. Brandon does a lot of community work here in the Detroit area. Zambrano throws a strike in the inside corner, 3-1. Inge to be followed by Ordonez and Laird. Here's another strike on the check swing. 3-2. Well, there he is, Maglio, waiting on deck. Back in the lineup tonight for Detroit. Lifted in the air, hit well to center. Fukudome back, still going back to the track to make the catch. Inge hit one to the warning track and just about to a wall.
Almost hit Tommy a home run here tonight.
Almost. Wouldn't that have been special?
I'm sure Tommy may have asked me to do so.
Well, he's got a few more at bats to go.
Yes, he does.
One out. That'll bring up Maglio. Ordonez at 273. Missed 5 games. And Jim Leyland decided this is the night to get him back in, despite the fact that Zambrano is on the hill tonight. Rolled toward third, and a nice easy hop for Fontenot. 2 quick outs. So after the triple by Polanco, 5 in a row retired by Zambrano. Laird has a 3-game hitting streak going right now at 223. A couple of home runs for Gerald. Down the middle it comes for strike 1. Zambrano gave up a double to Granderson, a triple to Polanco. That was in the first inning. And nothing going on since. 0-2. This is the first meeting between Laird and Zambrano. And he popped him up. Shallow right field. Milton Bradley coming in. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Zambrano. Both guys starting to get settled in now. 1-1. Trust us will make you happy you came in. That's a promise. AT&T, your world delivered. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing. What a gorgeous night here at Comerica Park, and it's turned into a pretty good pitching setup here now with Zambrano and Jackson both settling in after rocky first innings. 1 run, 2 hits for both teams. Neither club has an error as we go to the third. Top of the order coming up, Alfonso Soriano. He singled and scored back in the first inning. Jackson got him 1, 2, 3 in the second, including a couple of strikeouts. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good location on that fastball from Edwin Jackson. Terrio to follow, and then Milton Bradley. In the air to deep center. Granderson going back, still going back. Almost to the 420 marker.
Hey fans, baseball's biggest stars go head to head for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2009 MLB All-Star Game live from St. Louis. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. Will he be there? How about
I think
him?
so. Jackson goes to work against Terrio. Terrio had a base hit in the first inning. In fact, the Cubs loaded him up with nobody out and picked up just one run. Ground ball back up the middle. Santiago spinning. Nice play.
Yeah, Santiago's got some athleticism at that position, therefore does not have to leave his feet. He stays on his feet. He stays short to the ground. Quick exchange to the throwing hand to get Terrio. And some shortstops, when you have to leave your feet on that particular play, it's tough to get a base runner like Terrio.
Here's Bradley with 2 outs. Off the end of the bat, Jackson will handle this one. How about that for an easy 1-2-3 inning? 2 in a row now for Edwin Jackson. Three between these two teams. Interleague play continuing tonight here at Comerica Park. Tigers have won 5 straight in their home ballpark. And Ramon Santiago leads it off. He'll be followed by Curtis Granderson and then Placido Polanco. Zambrano works quickly, misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers this year are 20-11 at home this year. And missed again, 2-1. That is the best 31 game start in Comerica Park history.
Wow.
How about that? They've won 5 in a row. Santiago, Granderson, Polanco for the Detroit Tigers here in the bottom of the 3rd. The 2-1 pitch. Drill to right field. It's going to drop. Base hit. Leadoff single. Well, party suites for select Tigers home games in June and July are on sale now and include a $300 food credit. Tickets start as low as $85 per person with a minimum of 20 people. For tickets, call 313-471-BALL or log on to tigers.com. Always a great way to watch a game here at the ballpark. Party suites. Here's Granderson, who doubled and scored in the first. Curtis had a couple of hits in that series against Milwaukee. Batting .266 and sporting 17 home runs.
Nice spot for Curtis to be in right now, with Santiago being held on at first by Lee, and Granderson being a pull hitter for the most part. He's got a huge hole on the right side of that infield, and of course if he gets it through there, and Santiago would be able to get over to third. So he got a quick move for a big boy.
Wow. And that was close.
He big man too. Real quick feet. Looked like Santiago may have been entertaining the thought of running. Boy, that was close.
Oh. Andy Fletcher down there called him safe.
Well, Granderson should get a real good fastball to hit here. And Zambrano does not throw many off-speed pitches. And most of the stuff that he features is hard stuff.
That's in the dirt. Good break by Santiago. He goes in standing up. So he's in scoring position.
And Ramon's a good heads-up baseball player. Soto did a nice job of getting over to smother this and keep it in front of him. But it took him some time to find it, and by the time he found it, Santiago was scooting down to second.
Wild pitch. Pulled on the ground to second. That'll move the runner up. Granderson is out. 4-3. Advance Santiago to third. And now for the second time in this game, the Tigers will try and get a run in from third with less than 2 outs. It's up to Polanco, who tripled in a run back in the first.
On average, the batting average, I should say, goes up about 100 points when you pull your infielders in, especially against a contact hitter like Polanco.
27 RBIs for Placido. Tigers had 2 extra base hits against Zambrano in that first inning, leading to a run. 1-1. Polanco now has 2 triples and 18 doubles this year. Back out of play, 1-2. Zambrano has gone 6 straight years of 13 or more wins. He has been one of the better pitchers in the National League over the last 6 seasons. In fact, a couple of years ago in 07, he was an 18-game winner. Got in on his hands, rolled it to short with the infield in. Santiago will hold.
Tigers have not been good today. With runners on third, less than 2 outs, they are 0 for 3 in that same situation. You can't squander those opportunities against Zambrano.
No, and those at-bats have come really with the beef of their lineup.
Yes, they have.
So it'll take a 2-out hit now from Miguel Cabrera, who popped up his first time. Wave and a miss. It was a big series for Cabrera against the Milwaukee Brewers, 7 for 13. And he has kind of fluctuated between the top and the middle of the top 10 in batting average in the American League. He came in tonight second in the AL at 333.
All those guys are just keeping that spot warm for Joe Mauer once he gets enough ABs to qualify.
Mauer's been unbelievable.
Special player.
Cabrera takes high. Zambrano, a 3-time National League All-Star, 04, 06, and last season. Way outside, and Soto saves a run. 3-1. Tigers have some really good power in 3 and 4 these days. Of course, with Cabrera batting third and Thames waiting on deck. Power to burn as well. Three and 1. Pulled foul right behind Ramon. Full count. Soto runs out to the mound to have a brief chat with Zambrano. The Cubs right now playing in their third city in their last 3 days. They were in Chicago, and then of course you mentioned they had that game in Atlanta, the makeup game last night, and now in Detroit today.
They've got a few more makeups to make as well. Rained out quite a few times early.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Cabrera is gone. So are the Tigers. They leave a man at third again. 3 in the books. 1-1. Well, what record that stood for 45 years did Detroit and the New York Yankees set on this date back in 1950?
1950, huh?
It's kind of tough, don't you think? Good luck. Answer coming up, as always, in the bottom of the 4th. All right, here we go. Here's Derek Lee for Chicago in the top of the 4th inning. Edwin Jackson starts him off with a slider strike.
It's a good pitch if you can throw it for a strike, especially to a guy that loves to hit fastballs as Lee does.
Lee, Hoffpower, and then Soto. 9 straight set down by Edwin Jackson. Seems like Edwin's got that kind of stuff where every game we're saying 7 in a row set down, 8 in a row set down. He gets on these strings and these stretches where the opponents don't have any base runners. That's low, and the count goes 3-1.
On occasion, he can feature some overpowering stuff. Fastball in the mid to upper 90s. He's already shown us a couple of really nice sliders. Has not used many changeups today.
Ball 4. That is the second walk now for the right-hander.
Hey, Saturday afternoons were made for baseball, and this week Fox brings you the game of the week as the Cubs take on the White Sox in the Windy City Showdown. Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 4 p.m. on your local Fox station.
Here's Micah Hoffpower. Jackson struck him out back in the first inning. Hoffpower is now 9 for his last 50.
This Cubs team, a lot like the Tigers team last year. And just about every expert in baseball picked the Cubs to not only win their division, but to get to the World Series in the fall. And they have really stubbed their toe out of the gate.
Well, I was one of them. I thought that far and away they had that division in control. St. Louis right now is leading the National League Central. And it seems like for the Cubs, it's the old refrain, wait till next year. And they've had some good teams in recent history.
And really everybody in that division still in the hunt. Pittsburgh now 7 back. Houston, Cincinnati, there's Chicago sitting 3rd. It's a tight division. First 4 teams separated only by 3.5 games.
3-1.
Jackson, the first inning, yielded a lot of hitters counts. The next 2, he was real good. He has fallen behind both hitters in this inning.
And he's lost another one. Back-to-back walks. 3 of them in the game for Edwin Jackson.
Walks have really been no problem whatsoever this year for Edwin. He has pounded the strike zone with regularity.
Well, he came into this game with 25 in over 94 innings. His strikeout to walk ratio only, or almost, I should say, 3-1 entering play here tonight. Here's Giovanni Soto. Strike 1 on Soto.
I was saying earlier that Soto played in the World Baseball Classic for Puerto Rico, and his playing time was scarce. He was playing behind Pudge Rodriguez and one of the Molina brothers, so he didn't get a lot of at-bats in spring. Therefore, got off to a really slow start.
Well, it's obviously an honor to play for your country, which I think all of those players would agree. But if you are kind of a fringe player on those teams and you don't get a lot of playing time, and Soto is a great example of how it can have a negative effect.
For sure.
Spring training is all about, I would assume, finding timing, getting into baseball shape. And the only way you do that is to play regularly, and if you're not doing that in the WBC, then it's difficult when opening day rolls around.
You know, we were talking about the WBC just a couple of days ago when Ryan Braun was in town. Of course, he and Curtis Granderson played for the United States. And the one complaint that was pretty much universal of all the teams, they said it was too much dead time.
Yeah.
Too much time in between games.
And that's even for the guys that play every day, that they're not getting regular reps. Swing and a miss. Soto is out of there, and 4 strikeouts for Jackson.
He's gotten 3 strikeouts on this same pitch right here. And a real nice breaking ball. As you can see, that ball stayed on the fastball plane all the way until it got into the strike zone and then just appeared. And that may have even been a changeup, because that didn't really look like the same slider spin that Jackson features. Whatever it was good enough to get the out.
Here's Fukudome. Kosuke broke an 0 for 26 slump on Saturday, and came in batting just $137 in his last 15 games, so it's been a struggle.
Cubs had one of the better offensive teams in all of baseball last year, and because they were struggling so much this year, they fired their hitting coach Gerald Perry. And a lot of times when you fire your hitting coach for whatever reason, the players just seem to perk up a little bit. And I guess some of these guys have taken it personal, kind of looked themselves in the mirror and realized that Perry wasn't the problem, really. But they simply had to get it done on the field. It's almost like that situation in Colorado after they fired Clint Hurdle.
Yeah, they went off.
They've won 17 of 18.
The problem with that is that the guy had to get fired for that to happen.
Exactly. And a great baseball man is Gerald Perry.
1-2 on Fukudome. Now the Cubs are toward the bottom of the National League in offense, toward the top in pitching. That missed outside.
As a matter of fact, Lloyd McClendon told me the other day if he ever gets another big league manager's job, Gerald Perry would be his hitting coach again.
Is that right?
Yes. Perry was his hitting coach in Pittsburgh as well.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fukudome is out of there. And how about this nice little comeback here for Jackson? 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, Fukudome's had no chance against Jackson today. First time up, he threw him an elevated fastball, simply blew it away from him. And that time a change piece at the bottom of the strike zone. He hasn't thrown many changeups today, but when he has thrown it, he's kept it down.
So with 2 outs, here's Mike Fontenot. He was a strikeout victim back in the second when Edwin fanned a couple.
Even though the numbers told Lou Piniella before the game that Jackson has been dominant against left-handed hitters, batting average under 200. He's still running quite a few lefties up there today against Edwin.
He lifts this one in the air to center field. Should get him out of the inning. Granderson camping under it. Nice job by Jackson. Walked the 2 leadoff men and now has a 1, 2, 3, 4th after that. 1-1. "45 years did Detroit and New York set on this date in 1950? The answer is 11 home runs in a game. The Tigers won that game 10-9. A game that featured 11 home runs. Hoot Evers hit a couple for the Tigers. DiMaggio and Berra went deep for the Yankees. The Yankees hit 6 in that game. Tigers had 5.
That's a lot of trotting.
A lot of left turns.
Yes, indeed.
Here's Marcus Thames. Thames and then Kelly and then Inge here in the bottom of the 4th. 1-1 game. Zambrano throws a strike. 1-2 on Marcus, who popped up back in the 1st. 5 hits in the series against Milwaukee. Tigers swept that set against the Brew Crew. Wave and a miss, and down goes Thames. A strikeout for Zambrano.
Tigers swept a pretty good team. Milwaukee came to Comerica Park on fire. And the Tigers just showed up really from an offensive standpoint. They had an outstanding first 3 games of this homestand.
Well, there's no doubt the offense is looking a whole lot better these days than it was for the middle of that road trip. Kelly takes a strike. Don Kelly popped up back in the 1st. Rolled foul. 0-2. Kelly spent a lot of time in the Tigers minor league organization. Never made it to the big leagues the first go round. He finally got to the big leagues with Pittsburgh back in 07. And really has provided the Tigers a little bit of everything here. He's made a great defensive play in the outfield. He swung the bat really well.
I know we're playing in an American League ballpark now, but one of the reasons why Jim called him up, yes, he was having an outstanding season in Toledo, but also in National League parks. Kelly's a guy that plays just about everywhere on the baseball field and with the double switches. He's a valuable piece for Jim Leyland right now.
And he can run a little bit. He had 14 steals at AAA this year before the call-up. 1-2 on Don Kelly. Lifted in the air to center. Righted Fukudome. 2 outs. So after some fireworks early in this game, both pitchers have really shut down the opposing offenses. Although the Tigers have had a couple of shots against Mr. Zambrano. Here's Brandon in, shoot fly to center, back in the second. And he had the key blow on Sunday, the 3-run homer off Yovani Gallardo, who Jim Leland said was as good as anybody they have seen this year. And that was shortly after Thames took him to the warning track and to the wall.
Got himself a changeup right around the belt buckle. Didn't miss it. Actually a breaking ball. 3 straight breaking balls from Gallardo, and that at bat to Inge. The third one he connected on. There's been some outstanding pitching as the Tigers have seen this year in the American League and even in the National League. I mean, guys like Greinke and Halladay and Sabathia and Cliff Lee, and the list just goes on and on. I can't remember a year where so many starting pitchers have just been dominant on occasion.
Well, that's what the skipper was saying before the game today. I mean, it's been a year where you've seen a lot of offenses just really be shut down by some great pitching.
The Tigers got Rich Harden tomorrow, who can be as tough as any right-hander in the game when he's on.
Pulled into left field, base hit. Inge is aboard with a 2-out single.
That's one thing about Zambrano. He is a power pitcher, but he changes his arm angle quite often on different guys. This time he drops down to a low sidearm angle and throws that little 2-seamer that kind of ran right in on the hands of Brandon. You can see the grip on the ball. You can even see the movement on the baseball, but he did not get that one inside, and Brandon ripped that one past the third baseman Fontenot.
So here's Maglio now. Ordonez in his first game back bounced out 5-3 back in the second. Breaking ball bends inside.
He'll throw about 3 or 4 of those on the night. That real slow breaking ball that barely registers on the radar gun.
A little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's a comparison this year to 1 year ago today. Power numbers: 12 homers, 48 RBIs, and hitting over 300. That is popped up. Shallow right field. Bradley and the second baseman Blanco with a nice running play. Only guy to really get to that ball. Tigers turned away. Still 1-1. Factory and by ABC Warehouse, the closest thing to wholesale and the absolute best deals guaranteed. Back here at Comerica Park, the start of a 3-game interleague series featuring the Tigers and the Cubs. And so far, we're all knotted up. 1-1. Tigers have 4 hits. The Cubs have only 2 against Edwin Jackson. Andres Blanco leads it off. And he looks at a strike. 0-1. Blanco, Soriano, and Terrio. Blanco 0 for 1 with a ground ball. And a bunt. Good one. Inge barehanding. He's safe at first base. Blanco with a bunt base hit.
That's how good Brandon Inge is at third base. That's a perfect bunt by Blanco. And Inge still made this play awfully close at first base. Perfect bunt. He grabs it, throws it off the right leg. Very close play.
Only the 3rd hit for the Cubs.
Brandon acting like he hurt himself.
Well, hope not.
Did something.
Yeah, you can tell by the look on his face. He ran back out to his position, though. Here's Soriano. Single and 2 at bats for the 7-time All-Star, Alfonso Soriano. He's one of those guys that doesn't have a particularly big build, but he's hit 28 or more home runs for 7 straight seasons.
He probably uses the heaviest bat in the big leagues, too. 35.
Granderson backing up on this one.
Which is unheard of these days for a guy with a frame like that to swing a bat that heavy. You just don't see guys doing it very much these days. It used to be the norm a few years back. Well, more than a few years back.
Hasn't he always swung that heavy bat?
He has always swung a very heavy bat since coming to the big leagues.
There's Ryan Terrio.
You know, Willie Horton, we have him on our air from time to time, and he will talk about how heavy a bat he used to use. And Willie said he used to use on occasion 38 ounces, 48 ounces, which is heavy.
Yeah, I'm still not getting that. That's impressive.
That's like a weighted bat that guys use in the on-deck circle to get loose for their regular bat.
Runner goes in the air, center field. Granderson trotting back for this one.
Lou Piniella does not do a lot of hitting and running. The Cubs don't squeeze a lot. He doesn't manage a lot as far as that's concerned while he's on the bench, but I think he's realizing that runs are going to be at a premium today, so he put a runner in motion there. Lou is a good player too. He's been an outstanding manager. He's a really good player. One of those no-nonsense kind of skippers. He's going to tell you like it is, whether you like it or not.
Wasn't he a rookie of the year?
Don't know for sure. Could have been.
I think he was.
He had a nice career as a player.
He's from that hotbed of baseball talent down there, Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes. Milton Bradley, a walk and a ground out. '69 with Kansas City. He was the rookie of the year. There's Lou. He had some good teams in Seattle that he managed.
He had that 1 year in Seattle, 2001.
Yeah.
They won 116 games during the regular season.
How about that lineup they used to trot out?
That was Ichiro's first year stateside. Ichiro was rookie of the year, MVP, won a gold glove.
Ooh, he got him to chase at 97.
You can't catch up to that cheese at the eye level. No, you cannot. It's hard enough to hit when it's down in the strike zone, let alone being elevated.
1-2 on Milton Bradley. Runner at first with 2 outs. We're in the 5th inning. High, runner goes, throw down is in time. Another perfect throw. G-Money was on the money. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Fifth inning now here at Comerica Park, and Gerald Laird will lead it off. Laird, Santiago, and Granderson fresh off throwing out a base runner. Laird starts off the half inning and lines it foul. Laird flying to right field his first time up, 0 for 1. Gerald now batting .222. He's hit a couple of home runs. Zambrano stays away. Run the count to 1 ball 1 strike.
Zambrano throws nothing straight. You can see why it is so tough for offensive clubs to get to him.
It'll go to the backstop. 2-1.
He's also a huge competitor.
In the air to center, Fukudome. 1 out.
Let's take one more look at that throw out of Terrio by Gerald Laird to end the last half inning, and take a look at Gerald's hand here. He told me something the other day that I found quite fascinating. Look at here. He's got 3 fingers on the baseball. He said when he was small, his hands were so little that he had to learn how to throw with 3 fingers on the baseball versus the more conventional way of most guys with 2 fingers on the baseball. And boy, has his throws been on the money all year long. I'd never seen anybody throw with 3 fingers like that, unless the pitcher throwing a changeup.
Well, yeah, because usually as you get older, certainly your hands get bigger, and you throw with the 2 fingers. Santiago tried to bunt his way on. 37%. He may not have the strongest throwing arm, but boy, his technique is outstanding. His footwork is outstanding. I remember talking to Lloyd McClendon back in Baltimore on a recent road trip about Laird, and of course Lloyd did some catching, and he says he just does a lot of things right, gets the ball quickly, and of course a lot depends on the pitcher. We've often talked about that.
That was a topic of conversation in Jim Leland's office today, how quick pitchers get the ball to home plate, which in turn gives catchers a chance to throw down to second base. What's quick, what's not quick. If a pitcher gets the ball anywhere close to the catcher's glove, under 1-3, 1-1, 1-2, and the catcher has a decent arm, it's tough to run on those guys.
Fouled away.
Anything above 1-3, I'm talking about Zambrano getting the ball out of his hand into the glove of Soto. Anything above 1-3, 1-4, then it really doesn't matter how strong the catcher's arm is. You can steal a lot of bases off the pitcher.
The 1-2 pitch. Granderson had a double back in the first inning, scored a run on the Polanco triple. It looked like the Tigers might be able to get the offense rolling early tonight against Zambrano, but after that, not a whole lot going on. Good pitch, and it's strike three called. Zambrano was halfway back to the bench before McClellan made the call. These two teams, our coverage will begin at 6:30 with Tigers Live, presented by Bell Tire, and Rich Harden and Rick Porcello will be getting together in the middle game in the series. Should be a good pitching matchup, and we suspect all three of them will be between these two teams.
Apparently Harden getting hit around a little bit. Run average over 5.
Not used to seeing that, are we?
No, his stuff is tremendous.
Milton Bradley leading it off. Jackson tonight has given up only 3 hits. He has walked 3.
Milton had a good year last year for Texas Rangers, and he was probably their most consistent offensive player all season long. On base percentage, slugging percentage, had a nice batting average. But he was a free agent, and the Cubs gave him a 3-year deal.
That was back in January. He's had pretty good luck in interleague play. 387. Now Jackson again falling behind. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, Milton's still a young player, probably in his prime, but boy, he has worn a lot of uniforms already.
3-1 pitch. He lost him. Ball 4. It's another walk.
He has had quite a few of those today.
4 of them.
And strikes to balls ratio not all that favorable for Jackson today. 77 total pitches. And he's still got a lot in his tank.
Derek Lee, the batter. He's been on base twice, reaching on a fielder's choice, a walk and an RBI. Checked his swing inside. 1-0. Chicago is starting a grueling stretch right now. 10-day, 10-game trip. Actually started last night in Atlanta. The 1-0. And Laird now runs out to the mound.
The back end of that trip, they'll be playing in Chicago. They'll just be playing on the south side, but I would suspect most guys will still get a chance to sleep in their own beds.
That's a good point. So maybe not as grueling as we thought. We're talking about Lou Piniella earlier. He was the opening day center fielder and the leadoff man the year he won the Rookie of the Year in '69 with Kansas City.
A real good baseball man. That's why a lot of people that are around the Cubs on a day-to-day basis, they believe that Alan Trammell will get another chance to manage because he's had a few years sitting right next to an outstanding manager. And be careful here on the 3-0 pitch. Lee, I'm sure, has the green light should he choose to swing at it.
Tram, of course, managed in Detroit for 3 years, 03, 04, and 05. And I think he'll get another shot somewhere.
He deserves it. Tram already knew a lot of baseball, but I'm sure he learned some nice managerial tricks from Piniella.
Pulled to left field, down, a base hit, going to go to the wall. This is trouble. Bradley will go to third, stop there, and the Cubs are cooking here in the 6th inning now with a walk and a double.
The few hits that Jackson has given up today have been in favorable hitters' counts. And as hot as Lee is right now, you cannot throw a 3-1 fastball right by him. This guy is one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball right now.
And a 20-game hitting streak.
Now he's got to pitch himself out another one of those jams. Also his 1600 base hit. It's a lot of knocks.
Here's Hoffpauir. Yanked foul.
Jim Leland was talking about Lee before the game and talking about how he had him in 1998, the year after the Marlins won the World Series. And he just talked about how good Lee was on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. He had a dad who played and also an uncle who played professional baseball.
0-2 on Hoffpauir. Well, that 20-game hitting streak now leaves him 10 shy of the longest this year in all of baseball. That was the Zimmerman 30-game streak. But he's getting close. The 0-2. He went around, couldn't hold up. Laird wanted it up there, and at 98, he gets Hoffpauir. That's his 6th strikeout. So that's a start. Rick Knapp out to have a quick chat, as Soto will step in. 6 strikeouts to go with his 4 walks.
And what is Comcast telling us about the velocity on the fastball for Jackson tonight? 99 he has touched. And he's gone as low as 81 with several pitches in between. Courtesy of Comcast. Well, you got the base open. And Soto's up. Soto had an outstanding year last year. He has not had a great year this year. Yeah, but Jackson has also punched out the on-deck hitter, Fukudome, twice. And so I'm sure that was part of the conversation. What they will do, he will tell us right now.
Fastball up 1-0.
Defensively, the Tigers are pinching Soto on the corners with Cabrera and Inge. And they're playing back up the middle with Polanco and Santiago. Cabrera well off the line at first.
Two 2-0 on Soto. Ground ball and a strikeout. National League's Rookie of the Year last season. All-Star as well.
Had a great year.
Rolled toward third, foul.
That's one thing about the big leagues. A lot of guys have really good first years, but that second year, especially if you have a year like Soto had, and the teams start to pay attention to you. And now it's up to Soto to start to make some adjustments in the National League.
Yes, Soto last year hit 23 home runs, knocked in 86. Trying to pick up a couple of runs here. Bradley and Lee in a 1-1 game. Swing and a miss. Boy, that 97, 98 up and around the letter. Softly enticing, but nobody's been able to catch it.
Power pitching. Good old country hardball. Here it is, hit it.
2-2 on Giovanni Soto. Three and two. There's Fukudome on deck. Three-two pitch. Back out of play. Like he gave him the slider that time. So they'll do it again. It has certainly not been a game without some speed bumps for Edwin Jackson, even though he's given up just one run. Had a pitch out of that pickle in the first, walked a couple of batters to lead off the fourth inning.
He could throw a fastball right by Soto if he locates it.
In the air, center field, Granderson cruising over. Bradley will tag up. This will score the go-ahead run. Both runners move up. Sac fly, RBI for Giovanni Soto. And the Cubs go back on top 2-1. He climbed the ladder a little bit there and got enough of it to get a sacrifice fly.
It's a good at bat.
Two outs now, and that'll bring up Fukudome. Kosuke is fanned twice. He was a two-time batting champ over in Japan. He slices one to left field, and Kelly leaps and makes the catch. Nice play by Don Kelly. And the Cubs get just one.
All the way back to the first inning. Slow motion and freeze frame variety. Polanco's triple on a hanging breaking ball from Zambrano, which plated Granderson for the Tigers' only run of this game. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
That was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Well, here is Polanco. Tigers down by a run now. It'll be Polanco, Cabrera, and Thames facing Zambrano. Carlos gave up a run after two at-bats in the first inning. The double by Granderson, the triple by Placido, but after that, nothing. Roll toward third, cut off by Fontenot. One out. That'll bring up Cabrera. Zambrano, of course, has a no-hitter under his belt, which came in odd circumstances. The Cubs were playing in Milwaukee September in Miller Park, and it was Zambrano throwing a no-hitter against Houston. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. First no-hitter of his career. Tried to hold up, but he went. 2-1 on Cabrera. That fastball at 94. Right there on the outer edge, and all Cabrera could do is foul it straight back.
You said the no-hitter was odd circumstances. What were they?
What's going on? The Cubs had to play at Miller Park. You remember what that was?
Oh, because of the bad weather early in the year.
Right.
It was a home game for them.
It was a home game for Chicago.
Because weather was bad in Chicago or something. I remember exactly now. They had to play that game.
There was some situation going on.
Exactly.
And they had to find a place to play, and Miller Park was close, and he ends up throwing a no-hitter.
I think a couple of teams played in Milwaukee.
Did they?
I think Cleveland may have played a game there too. Something to that nature.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the tying run is on. Here is Marcus Thames. Thames 0 for 2, and Marcus with the tying run aboard. Strike called right at the knees.
He has given Marcus a steady diet of fastballs and breaking balls outside. And at that time, Marcus probably got a good fastball he could handle, but he watched it go by. He won't let the next fastball go by if he gets one.
Shattered his bat. Little one-hopper hit to the shortstop. There's one. Here comes the relay. Got him. A double play. Ugh. Zambrano out of the inning. We go to the 7th.
For fantasy batting practice and hit pitches thrown by former Tigers players. Space is limited, so call now at 313-471-2550 or visit Tigers.com. Fantasy batting practice. Get on a big league diamond and take some batting practice off a former Tigers pitcher or player.
Well, we have a good crowd here tonight of better than 38,000 fans. They've watched a good one. 2-1 Cubs lead. The Matt Noakes fan.
Sure is.
1 ball, no strikes on Mike Fontenot. It's funny when you travel around all these different ballparks, and even here at home, you see who the popular players are by the jerseys. And when we were in St. Louis, it had to be like 99% Pujols shirts.
It's like Granderson here.
Yeah.
And Verlander's closing in on Granderson, but there are a lot of Granderson jerseys.
We still have a Pudge Rodriguez. Fouled straight back, 2-1.
Well, Pudge Rodriguez is the reason they start going back to the team shop.
Good point. It is indeed. We're going to see Pudge in a couple of days.
We sure are.
Down in Houston.
Hot in Houston, too.
It's supposed to be 100 there when we float into town. 3-1. Here's another Pudge. Fouled away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Speaking of Houston, we were talking about that Zambrano no-hitter. It was because of Hurricane Ike in Houston. That game was relocated to Milwaukee. Full count. Jackson trying to avoid yet another walk. May have gotten a little bit of help there with that fastball up.
Yeah, Houston had to rush their families all out of town, the kids and wives and everybody, and they were complaining that it was a home game somewhat for Chicago playing in Milwaukee.
Right. Seemed like it. Bouncer to the shortstop. Santiago to his left.
Let's take one more look here at the last couple of innings. Blanco bunted for a base hit. Perfect bunt down the third baseline. Brandon Inge made it close. But the point I want to make is take how long he stays in the batter's box. He stays in the batter's box. He gets the bunt perfectly where he wants it, and then he runs. Santiago also came up and tried to bunt, but you can see Santiago's feet are moving. He's running out of the batter's box. Therefore, he bunts his right back to the pitcher because he didn't wait patiently in the batter's box. And from time to time, we talk about the fact that you have to stay there to get it where you want it before you run. That's a perfect example of a couple of guys that doing it differently in that situation. But Polanco's a good bunter. Excuse me, Santiago is a good bunter too.
Blanco bends out of the way, but 96-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-1. One single and a ground out for Andres Blanco, who played a couple of years in Kansas City. Wave and a miss. Not going to catch up with that pitch. 1-2. Action in the Detroit bullpen. That would be Brandon Lyon.
He's been hot. He's been good.
Now the 1-2. Fouled away. Lyon really has been good. Only 1 earned run in his last 8 1/3, which is much more of what the Tigers were expecting when they signed him in the offseason in February. Pulled, foul down the right field line. Didn't miss by much.
It's a perfect example of a left-hander and throwing the ball in their happy zone. It appeared to be a breaking ball right down and in, where all you have to do is drop the bat head if you're a hitter. And he hits that ball awfully hard, whereas Jackson also has the ability to throw fastballs right by Blanco. You don't want to make a mistake with a breaking ball.
Lifted toward left field. Kelly on the move. 2 outs. Top of the order, Alfonso Soriano. The difference in this game, the 1-out sacrifice fly by Giovanni Soto in the 6th inning. That broke the 1-1 tie. Soriano 1 for 3. It's really amazing because you talk about that heavy bat that Soriano uses, and it's also a hitting stance in which he's crouched over, but still he has enough strength to get that bat through the zone with force to hit a ton of home runs.
He does a lot of damage. He has been a premier leadoff hitter or middle of the order guy since coming to the big leagues. He can rake.
2-1.
He also started his professional career as a player in Japan. Back when Japan had an academy for Dominican players. He spent 3 years playing in the minor leagues for the Hiroshima Carp, same team I played for. I guess the Japanese figured with the Americans are going to have academies in Dominican Republic, why can't we have our own academy here in Japan? And they started one.
Well, only one guy has had more leadoff home runs than Alfonso Soriano, and that would be Ricky Henderson. It's going to take a while to catch him. Ricky had 81. Soriano has 54 career leadoff home runs. The 2-2 fouled away again.
And then after he spent the 3 years in Japan, he was a free agent some kind of way, and he was able to sign a contract with the New York Yankees, but not before he went on several sort of tryouts with other major league clubs. The Yankees were the ones that bid on him.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Jackson fans him for a 1-2-3 7th inning. 7 strikeouts for Edwin Jackson. Kelly Inge Ordonez coming up. Tigers at Tigers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop. Tigers trying to get the bats going now against one of the toughest over in the National League, Carlos Zambrano. It is a 2-1 game. Cubs in the lead. Game 1 in this series. And Kelly checks his swing. Did not go, said Adrian Johnson. 2-0. Down is 0 for 2. Inge and Ordonez to follow. Tigers have had at least one base runner in every inning but the second and the fifth. Here's the 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Kelly. Ooh, it hit him. Kelly is hit by the pitch, and the tying run is on.
Any way you can.
Zambrano upset with himself. Back leg. He's not real happy with himself.
Yeah, very close game. Tigers only down by 1.
Here's Brandon Inge. Inge hit one deep to center field, his first at bat, sending Fukudome all the way to the wall. Had a base hit back in the 4th. One and one. Even as Zambrano tires in his starts, he still goes out there and he throws the baseball. He does not slow down at all. Inge stepping out on him, slow him down a bit. We mentioned that Kelly down in the minor leagues this year, AAA, had 14 steals. Well, he can swipe it back. Measuring his lead against Zambrano. That'll get away from Soto, but not far enough. Soto is at 30% in throwing out runners this year. Lou Piniella looking over the lineup card. Two and one on Brandon Inge. Ordonez waiting on deck. High fly ball, left field and hit well. Soriano back to the wall. Inge has done it again. A 2-run shot for Brandon.
He hit a home run for Tommy.
Tommy Shoemaker. That home run is for you, bud.
This looks just like Sunday's game, where it was a very good pitching matchup. Gallardo against Verlander. He got him a 2-1 over the top straight fastball. One of the few straight pitches Zambrano has thrown all night long, and Brandy made him pay.
Inge does it against Gallardo, and now Zambrano. Two outstanding National League pitchers, and the Tigers have their first lead of the game, 3-2.
That hit batter, and he got Zambrano into the stretch where he hadn't been a whole lot today. Little slide step, 2-1 fastball. He's breathing fire right now. He's hot.
1-2 on Maglio. And it sails outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He is steaming out there now.
Yes, he is.
He'll blow a gasket or two now.
He's been known to do that a few times. And he missed again, 3-2. I told you the story earlier. Tommy Shoemaker, the young man that Brandon visited in the hospital today, and he has hit a home run for him. There's a walk to Maglio.
Here's that pitch one more time as Larry Rothschild gets on the phone. It's a 4-seam fastball, the only straight pitch that I can remember Zambrano throwing all night long. Everything else has been moving all over the strike zone. Cutters, sinkers, sliders, forkballs. He decided to try to sneak that 95-mile-per-hour fastball by Brandon, and he couldn't get him.
Well, the Tigers grabbing the lead. They will now bring a pinch runner in for Ordonez. Maglio is out of there, and Anderson will pinch run at first base.
And Larry Rothschild is the pitching coach for Lou Piniella. And as a matter of fact, Larry Rothschild was the pitching coach for the Florida Marlins back in 1997 when they won a world championship under Jim Leland. Jim was talking about Larry before the game today. And Larry also was given some consideration for the pitching coach's job when Jim took over in 2006, but Larry preferred to stay in Chicago. Well, we know Larry will bunt, that's for sure.
Gerald 0 for 2, couple of fly balls.
And you may as well stay out of a double play.
He lays one right back to the screen with a charging Fontenot at third base.
Because Fontenot is charging so aggressively, he may want to bunt the ball down toward first, where Derek Lee is holding on Anderson.
4 sacrifices this year for Gerald Laird.
Anderson's got that breakaway speed too.
Yep. A lot of different ways. Well, a few different ways you could play it here.
Well, Jim is anything but conventional. He will hit and run in this count, which is some of the things you have to do as a manager, or else opposing teams will pick up some of your patterns.
Laird, a good long look down at Gene Lamont. Anderson with 10 swipes this year. Pitch out and nothing going on. 1-1.
It's a good call by Lou, although it didn't necessarily work out that time. Lou Piniella knows Jim Leland, and he knows that he will do some things that are unconventional, like putting a hit and run on no balls and 1 strike. His longtime sidekick, Matt Sinatra, sitting next to him.
2-1.
I think Sinatra's been with Lou just about every step of the way. It's Matt Sinatra, first base coach, giving the bench sign. I mean the signs to the catcher. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Oh, look out. They're going to have him picked off. Anderson was 3 steps to the second base, and he is picked off. He put on the brakes, and Zambrano nailed it.
And Matt Sinatra, first base coach for the Cubs and a former catcher himself. That must have spelled something here, because he gave the throw over sign, and Anderson was just trying to get too big a jump there.
Anderson thought he got his hand around before he was tagged, but that was too wide of a margin there to be called safe. Fletcher rings him up. 3-1 now on Gerald Laird. Well, that's a big play for Zambrano. The inning started with a hit batter, then the Inge home run. By the way, that is his 17th. Ground ball foul, third base side.
17 home runs. We're not even in July yet.
No. He had, what, 27 in 06.
He's making a strong bid to make the All-Star team this year.
Wave and a miss. Laird is out.
Not as a starter, of course. Evan Longoria of the Tampa Bay Rays will start for the American League squad, but Brandon making a strong case for trying to get on the team.
Well, 2 more RBIs gives him 49.
I think Longoria, the only third baseman that has more RBIs than Brandon.
That'll be caught by the left fielder Soriano. Tigers take the lead, though, on the 2-run homer by Brandon Inge. Time now for an exclusive sneak peek of Ice Age: Dawn of the Dinosaurs, opening July 1st. Lynn Hughes and Christina Lovgren are the Detroit Tigers finalists in People Magazine's All-Stars Among Us through June 24th. You can vote for one by going to foxsports.com, clicking on the link All-Stars Among Us. The winner from each major league city will be honored before the All-Star Game July 14th, seen only on Fox, and of course that is in St. Louis this year. So here we go. The Tigers now lead by a run, 3-2, as we head to the 8th inning. First pitch fouled back by Terrio. He is facing the new pitcher in the wall side windows pitching change, Joel Zumaya. 21st
game now that Joel has been in. He has a 3-1 record. The earned run average is shade over 3. 22 1/3 innings. He's averaging pretty much a strikeout an inning.
Josh Anderson stays in the game to play in right for Maglio Ordonez. The hook misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. We have seen Zumaya throw quite a few more curveballs in his last few outings.
Well, he really needs to do so if he's going to be effective in this at this level, even though the fastball is overpowering.
There's another one.
Yeah, if you fall behind some of these guys as he has, 2-1, 3-1, we can see Joel get hit around a little bit.
There was a time where you would rarely see Zumaya throw back-to-back curveballs,
let alone 3 in a row like we're getting ready to see.
And he just missed it. 2-2.
No free passes. That's really been one of the few blemishes this year for Joel, is that he's walked 13 in those 22 innings he's pitched.
Cued the other way, right at Polanco. Terrio is out. He is 1 for 4. Jackson was pretty good tonight.
Another quality start. What new for Jackson? 113 total pitches. He did walk 4, but gave up just 2 earned runs against an offense that's starting to perk up a little bit.
That is his 10th start of allowing 2 or fewer earned runs. Swing and a miss. A big rip by Bradley.
You might as well throw that fastball again. I know Bradley's a real good big league hitter, but that one he threw right by him.
Missed with it. 1-1. Tigers fell behind but scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th on the home run by Inge. In what has been a tight ball game all night long. Fouled away.
And Zumaya can go one of 2 ways here. He can climb the ladder with another fastball to Bradley up in that area where Jackson was throwing him tonight, or he can come back with a breaking ball. Here comes the cheese. Easy gas.
Yeah, and he threw it by 104. Wow.
That was so impressive. We're going to make it our bell tire pitch by pitch. 4 pitches, all fastballs, each one harder than the next one. The last one, as Mario said, 104 according to our gun.
Yikes.
That's just a nice job by not only Zumaya but also Laird after that first swing by Milton. You could see that he was not going to catch up to the fastball.
0-1 on Derek Lee. He doubled back in the 6th. Hits this one to the gap in left center field. Kelly coming on. It's going to drop in, base hit. Tying run is on now. The 2nd hit of the game for Lee, who has hit in 20 straight games.
I wouldn't think that Zumaya would change much here against Hoffpire. And what I mean by that is same type of fastballs that he threw to Milton Bradley.
Hoffpauer with a couple of strikeouts. Jackson finished with 7. So Tigers pitching tonight has 8 Ks. He started him off with a breaking ball. Hoffpauer also has a walk. Fouled away at 100 miles an hour.
It is so tough to hit a fastball when a guy's throwing 100 miles an hour. First and foremost, you have to guess in the right spot, and you still have to cheat. You almost have to start your swing when he lets the ball go. Another terrific outing for Edwin Jackson.
Two balls and one strike. We've often talked about when you played that, you know, guys that had a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball were really bringing it. You never really faced a guy that threw this hard, did you?
No. No.
2-1. Two and two.
Yeah, I saw Doc Gooden back in his prime, albeit spring training, but he was anywhere from 94, 95. Also faced Nolan Ryan once in spring training. He threw me curveballs. But I watched everybody else talking about those fastballs.
High, towering drive into right field, way back, and this ball is gone.
He threw the one pitch that he could hit. Oh, no. Oh. He threw the one pitch that Horsepower could hit.
Wow. Wow.
Changeup, I believe.
It was a changeup, wasn't it?
Oh.
He had him overmatched. And a changeup goes into the seats to make it 4-3 Chicago.
And you know, Joel is thinking right now, how in the world did I allow him to beat me with my third best pitch?
Exactly. Which makes you wonder in the future now how much he's going to trust himself to throw that changeup.
Well, just have to pick the right situation and the right guy. And then again, if he locates it down in a way where I'm sure he was trying to throw it.
True.
Maybe it's a different result, but that one just kind of stayed up. It was also the first one that he had thrown in the inning. Wow.
That was stunning.
Just like that.
So Edwin Jackson will not be able to win this game tonight, or as well as he pitched. Giovanni Soto behind in the count 1-2. 4-3 Chicago. A couple of big home runs late in this game. And down the middle it comes for strike three at 100 miles an hour. He didn't even offer after. 2 strikeouts for Zamaya, but a big home run America Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. And by Beaumont Hospitals, do you have a Beaumont doctor? Here's our Comerica Bank game summary with Chicago in the lead now 4-3 on the stunning two-run homer by Micah Hoffpower. Brandon Inge had just hit a two-run shot to put the Tigers ahead, and Derek Lee has a 20-game hitting streak. Also picked up hit number 1600 tonight. So Tigers now going to have to get back at it here. Joel Zumaya surrenders the go-ahead homer, but still some time to go in this one. And Carlos Marmol is in now out of their bullpen.
He's got some lights out numbers. He was ticketed to be their closer in spring training, but apparently he does not have that role. He's a setup man with 13 holds, respectable earned run average. You can see the power in the right arm. 35 strikeouts in 32 innings, but look next to the 35 strikeouts.
Whoa.
33 walks.
So Zambrano can win this thing now. And he was good.
Well, we knew that it was going to be a good pitching matchup because of the personalities that were on the mound for both squads. And Zambrano and Jackson, and neither disappointed.
New catcher has come on as well. Hill will take over for Soto, who never took the bat off his shoulders on that last pitch by Zumaya.
Granderson may as well take a strike here. I don't know if he will, but being the leadoff hitter against a guy with 33 walks in 35 innings, make him throw the strike.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And in case you're wondering, usually the take signs don't come from the third base coach or the manager. Usually it's up to the hitter to decide whether he wants to swing or not. Pretty nice breaking ball there.
Wave and a miss. The Granderson is out of there. 1 out. Bobby C tuning up now for Detroit. Here comes Polanco. Placido tripled in a run back in the first. Ooh, he's hit by the pitch. Drilled is Polanco. Oh, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, Marmol throws hard.
He got smoked in just about the same spot he got hit in the Milwaukee series. Ouch.
Well, last time the Tigers scored a couple runs, it was a hit batter that scored before the home run off the bat of Brandon Inge. This guy right now is capable of playing long ball too. Cabrera.
I'm with you. He's got 14. Marmol missing. 1-0.
Marmol digging a hole for himself here.
He has spent his entire professional career with the Cubs, which began in '99. The 2-0. Strike call.
It's a good pitch. 2-0. Throw a breaking ball for a strike. Cabrera did not want to hit that anyway. He was sitting dead red looking for a fastball.
Tried to hold off. I think he went.
Yep.
Andy Fletcher goes up with the right hand. 2-2 on Cabrera.
This fastball had some running action to it. And once Cabrera realized that it was going to be out of the strike zone, he was already committed.
Now 3-2.
Well, decision time for Jim as well. You got Marcus Thames in the on deck circle with a lot of power. Do you run the risk now of sending a guy to second with a strikeout pitcher on the mound?
It would be risky, wouldn't it? Let's see what they do. Second hit batter tonight for the Tigers. Kelly was the other back in the 7th. Marmol now has hit 6 batters this year. Runner is going on 3-2. A swing and a miss. Throw down to second is not in time.
It's a good job by Polanco. Polanco had the kind of jump like he was trying to steal the base. Usually when the count's 3-2, you don't get such a good jump because you're just trying to stand up a double play. But he had a really good jump and was able to just get in there under the tag.
3 steals now for Polanco. That's going to leave it up to Marcus Thames with the tying run out there in scoring position. 4-3. Chicago leads in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1. Marcus tonight is hit into a double play. He's 0 for 3. And with as deep as the outfield is playing right now, base hit would probably score Polanco. Swinging a drive to left field. That ball is hooking down the line, and it is foul. Wasn't going to be deep enough. And it's 0-2.
Look at Tram. Get fouled. Tram's talking to the ball.
Yes, missed. Boy, Marmol came hopping off the mound, heading back to the dugout.
Where's he going?
Tim McClellan's not going to take too well to that. Swing and a miss. Now he can go. Thames strikes out. Marmol strikes out the side. Fukudome, Fontenot, Blanco coming up. Rapid rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Micah Hoffpower delivered tonight with a 2-run shot in the 8th to give the Cubs the lead 4-3 as we go to the 9th. Fukudome drags one back to the mound and Bobby C throws him out.
Thirty-first game for Bobby. And does not have a win. He's lost 1 game, has 14 holds. He's been very good in that regard, getting the ball to Rodney. And 15 strikeouts against 6 base on balls. .211 batting average against Bob. Bob throws more fastballs anywhere from 90 to 92 and a breaking ball. And pretty much just a two-pitch pitcher who's been really good against left-handed hitters this year. That's the reason why when you can locate that fastball or breaking ball away from your arm side on the corner like that, you're going to get a lot of left-handers out.
Mike Fontenot is 0 for 3. One ball and one strike. One out, we're in the ninth. And the 1-1. Back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bobby C. following Joel Zamaya. 7 very good innings tonight from Edwin Jackson. One and 2. Awfully close. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Fontenot. He's a freshman All-American on that LSU team that won the College World Series back in 2000 and was a teammate of Ryan Terrio. The 2-2. Pulled and into right field. Broken bat single. 1 on, 1 out. Give the Cubs their 7th hit. It's going to bring up Andres Blanco. Single for 3, bunt hit for Blanco. That was back in the 5th. And Bobby throws back. Fontenot has just a couple of steals this year. He's been caught once. Minnesota leading in Milwaukee tonight 7-3. They play in the 3rd. Tigers enjoyed a 4-game lead over Minnesota coming into play tonight. Tipped into the glove of Gerald Laird. Look at those standings. The 4-game lead over Minnesota, 5 up on Chicago.
Cleveland might be getting to that point to where they may start deleting some pieces.
Some big pieces, you think?
Well, you never know. You never know. There's been a lot of rumors circulating some of their players.
The Indians got up to such a slow start. They never really have been able to dig out of that hole. They came in 29-42.
They had a rough weekend in Chicago too. Kerry Wood, former closer for Chicago, blew a couple of saves in walk-off fashion in Chicago. They were rude to Kerry Wood.
Kevin Gregg, their closer, warming up. And another throwback.
This Cubs team's going to be there for the long haul, though. And more than likely, they're going to get their talented third baseman back, Aramis Ramirez, around the All-Star break. That'll be just like making a big trade. It's amazing how you can have that one big piece missing from your lineup, and the offense just doesn't work as efficiently as you thought it was going to work coming into the season. Ramos with 27 home runs last year for the Cubs. Over 100 runs driven in. And played good defense, too.
Yeah. I guess the exception to that rule this year would be Manny out in L.A.
Yeah.
They keep winning without him.
They're going to get him back soon, though. They'll be a better team with him.
July the 3rd.
It's a shame that Juan Pierre has to go back to the bench, though.
The 0-2. Bouncing ball foul. I think I heard Joe Torre had mentioned in an interview that he's still going to give Pierre 2 or 3 days a week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because he has certainly earned it.
They'll stay fresh. They're a different team with Juan Pierre leading off. Obviously, they've got speed at the top. They've got such talented outfielders in Los Angeles, though. Kemp and Ethier, Pierre, Manny about a week away.
Oh, 0-2 on Blanco. Bobby busting him inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pace has slowed down here in the 9th after the 1-out single by Mike Fontenot. Alan Trammell back in Detroit for the first time wearing an opposing uniform since he left the Tigers. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball to first. Cabrera down to his knees, fires to second. That's all they're going to get. Nice play down there by Santiago. 2 outs. Speaking of Tram, he has accomplished quite a bit in his career.
Jim Leland is talking about Tram at length today. And why wouldn't he with these numbers that Tram was able to post in 20 years with the Tigers? 20 of them.
Of course, the World Series MVP back in '84.
Tram took a drive over to Michigan and Trumbull this morning to say his goodbyes to Tiger Stadium.
Well, that's going to be it for Bobby C. Tigers go to the bullpen. Pitching change. Brandon Lyon coming in. For the Tigers, they have a man on with 2 men out and a Rod Allen jersey. Rod Allen sighting there in the crowd.
How about that?
Here's Brandon Lyon. Brandon appearing in his 27th game, and Soriano the first man to face him. Breaking ball missing inside.
Ooh, 1 for 11 is Soriano against Brandon Lyon.
Two balls, no strikes. Soriano a single in 4 at-bats tonight. Tigers will have Kelly, Inge, and Anderson due up when we get to the bottom of the 9th. course, they still have Rayburn on the bench, Everett on the bench, Dusty Ryan as well. Wave and a miss. 2-1. Tigers tonight have been out hit 7-5. Two big home runs late. Brandon Inge to give the Tigers the lead in the 7th. Micah Hoffpower to give the Cubs the lead in the 8th. Two and two. Porcello and Harden tomorrow. Galarraga and Lilly in the day game on Thursday. And the Tigers wind up interleague in Houston. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball popped up. Cabrera at first base to retire the side. So we'll get to the bottom of the 9th. And the Tigers have Kelly, Inge, and Anderson due. And 2 to win, and they will face the Cubs closer. His name is Kevin Gregg.
He's blown a couple this year, has Gregg. 34th game now that he's been in. Comes in with a 2-1 record, 11-13 in save opportunities. Apparently he's got a strikeout pitch. 32 strikeouts in 32 innings against 14 walks. And he's given up 5 home runs.
Broke into the big leagues with the Angels his last 2 years in Florida. Saves of 29 and 32. So the Tigers will send Don Kelly to lead it off. Kelly hit by a pitch back in the 7th and then scored a run on the Inge homer. Rally caps. Hoping for a Tiger comeback tonight. What a game this has been. Swing and a miss by Kelly. A couple of big home runs late. A couple of outstanding pitching efforts from the starters, Zambrano and Jackson. Here's Inge waiting on deck. Ball outside, 1-1. That's low. The home run by Hoffpower, the difference. Swing and a miss by Kelly. Had a big rip. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the Tigers leadoff man here in the 9th.
And now Kelly's got to shorten it up a little bit. Make some contact. Not a big swing here.
Fill it up.
Looked like he was going for the downs there, 2-1 on that swing that he took off Greg.
Three-two pitch. Fouled it off the mask of the catcher, Coy Hill. $38,046 for game one of the series. And again the 3-2. Ground ball foul. Brooks bat. Kelly's been a nice surprise offensively for the Tigers since being called up. Trying to get something going here against Kevin Gregg. Cubs gave up a minor league pitcher to get him from Florida November of last year, and a foul straight back. 8 pitches so far in this at bat.
And Brandon getting a bird's eye view in that on deck circle. All the pitches that Kelly has seen.
Breaking ball high, lost him. Tying run is on.
Greg went for the strikeout there instead of simply allowing Kelly to put the ball in play. And last time up in the 7th, straight fastball by Zambrano, and Brandon hit it out of here.
That was home run number 17 for Brandon Inge. He has 49 RBIs, 2 for 3 tonight. And Kelly at first base, the tying run. Strike one on Brandon. Tigers trying to get to the closer, Kevin Gregg. After Zambrano at 7 strong, Marmol will pitch the 8th. And now Gregg here in the 9th. Gregg kicking at his landing spot. Now he's ready. High pop up. Shallow right field. Bradley comes charging in, but he's called off by Blanco. And there are one away now, and that'll bring up Anderson's spot, but it looks like Rayburn has picked up a bat. Jim Leland goes deeper into the bench. Ryan Rayburn.
Yeah, apparently Jim looking for an extra base hit here out of Rayburn. And pitching the right-hander against the right-handed Gregg. Now Larry Rothschild will stroll out to the mound and make sure that Gregg and also Hill are square on the scouting reports on Ryan Rayburn.
So Rayburn now will get a pinch hitting opportunity. Tigers are 7 for 36 as pinch hitters this year. Rayburn is 0 for 4. Ball 1 to Ryan Rayburn.
And Gregg likes his breaking ball. If you're Kelly, the base runner on first. If he does uncork one and he throws it wildly in the dirt. And if you've got to advance 90 feet, you've got to get in the scoring position.
Swinging a drive into left center field and hit well. Way back. This ball is gone. Ryan Rayburn with a pinch hit home run, and the Tigers win.
managers look awfully smart. Great move by Leland. Oh, what a game.
And a big old hug from the skipper.
Skipper said, I told you.
Talk about pushing the right button.
He busted him, didn't he? Another breaking ball. He fell in love with his breaking ball in this inning. And he blew another save to Greg. That's the 11th save now. The Cubs have flown as a staff. Oh, how about that? Look out, Ryan.
Celebrate. How about the bench? Did he get it?
Go ahead, Grandy.
Kelly running hard, and now he can just pull into his trot.
You gotta love it.
Time to celebrate. What a win tonight for the Tigers. Ryan Rayburn, a pinch hit 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth. And right now, let's check in with our Ryan Field for the